Short. Strong. Espresso English.
Fuel your day. Let's learn.
Quick question at a picnic. Do you grab the easy option or do you do the I brought my own stuff thing? Because the second you arrive hungry, every choice suddenly feels weirdly dramatic.
Oh, absolutely dramatic. 1 minute you're thinking about sandwiches, and the next you're staring at a pile of single-use cups like they're a moral test.
This is a B1 level episode, perfect for intermediate learners. Beginners, you're welcome too.
And today's mess is simple. You want to care about the planet, but you also want lunch to happen before sunset.
That's the pain point, right? You open your bag, and your reusable cup is buried under keys, snacks, and some random receipt from last week.
I've done that. I've stood there carrying around 3 eco items and still taken the single-use plate because everyone else already started eating.
And then you feel that tiny social pressure. Someone says, don't make it complicated, and suddenly your good intention starts to wobble.
Exactly. And that's why this episode matters. It's not about being perfect. It's about that weird gap between what we believe and what we actually do.
So here's the real question. If the easiest thing is right there, why is it so hard to stick to the greener choice?
Because convenience is loud. It's the default. If a shop hands you a single-use fork without asking, your brain just goes, fine, whatever, next problem.
And that is so human. I can picture it now. People at the park, sunscreen everywhere, fries disappearing fast, and one person quietly holding a reusable container like it's a secret identity.
Right, and no one wants to go out of her way in the middle of a casual hangout. You're there to relax, not to run a tiny sustainability campaign.
But that's exactly the tension we're talking about. Not anti-environment, not lazy, just stuff between values and real life.
And there's one thing we'll unpack today. Why the easiest option keeps winning, even when people genuinely care.
Stay until the end for our Word Tour 5 useful expressions from today's story.
And later, we'll give you one tiny trick that makes the eco-choice feel less like a chore and more like a habit.
I think you already know the scene we're talking about. Maybe you're at the beach, maybe at a campsite, maybe just pretending you remembered the cutlery.
Honestly, we've all been that person at least once.
I keep thinking about that park scene. The moment the food shows up, everyone relaxes, and then your brain starts negotiating with itself.
Right, and the negotiation is always sloppy. You see the disposable fork, the paper plate, the plastic straw, and suddenly your reusable kit feels like homework.
That's exactly the point. The intention is there, but the moment is messy. People don't wake up and say, I love waste.
No, they usually say, I'm hungry, I'm tired, and I don't want to dig through my bag.
Let's name the first big idea, the attitude-behavior gap. It means you support something in your mind, but your behavior doesn't fully match it in real life.
So you can care about a plastic-free picnic and still end up using single-use stuff because the situation pushes you there.
Exactly. And that gap isn't a character flaw. It's a very normal human pattern.
Thank goodness, because otherwise half the planet would need a lecture and the other half would need a nap.
Ha, true. Imagine someone saying, I believe in sustainability, while they're also trying to peel a clingy sticker off a lid with one greasy finger.
That image is painfully accurate. And the weirdest part is that the reusable option can be the one you actually like more once it's in front of you.
But before that, you have to carry around the stuff. And that's where the friction starts. A cup, a fork, a cloth bag. Each item is small, but together they feel like extra responsibility.
That's why convenience wins. It's not always about values. It's about what's already visible, already open, already ready.
So if a friend hands you a single-use cup the second you arrive, your brain goes, great, problem solved.
Right. And if your reusable cup is zipped inside a backpack under a towel and a bottle of sunscreen, the greener choice suddenly takes effort.
That effort matters. But in the moment, it can feel socially awkward too. You don't want to stop the flow of the picnic by unpacking your own whole system.
My whole system is such a funny phrase, but yes, people don't want to be the one who slows everybody down.
And that's where default effect comes in. It means people tend to choose the option that's set up for them first. If the default is disposable, disposable wins fast.
Exactly. The default is powerful because it asks for zero extra thinking. You don't have to decide, you just accept.
So the real story isn't people are hypocrites. It's more like people are trying to be good while the path of least resistance keeps pulling them back.
And that's why one tiny prep step changes so much. If your reusable kit lives by the door, the default starts to shift before you even leave.
Picture this. You're packing for a park hangout. If you have to hunt for the cup, the bag, the fork, and the napkin, you'll probably give up.
But if they're all in one small pouch, you're more likely to bring them. Less thinking, less friction, more follow through.
Let's do a quick practice round. If I say, "We are going to the beach," what's the simplest eco sentence you can say out loud?
I'll bring my reusable cup. That's short, clear, and not annoying.
Nice. And if you want to sound even more natural, you can add, "I've got a reusable bag in the car."
See? That already sounds less like a speech and more like a real plan.
So the challenge isn't having the right opinion. It's making the right action easy enough to happen when you're hungry, busy, or a little lazy.
Which, to be fair, is most of the time.
And that's why we're not talking about giant life overhauls here. Just one repeated choice that can survive a noisy day.
Right. And in a minute, we'll get to the second big idea, why one tiny default can shape the whole vibe of the outing.
And by the way, there's a phrase for this whole "I care, but I still don't act" feeling. We'll break it down later.
Stay with us because the story gets even more useful when we talk about what actually changes behavior in the wild, not just in theory.
So here's the uncomfortable question. If people truly care, why don't they just stick to the greener choice every time?
Because every time is too idealistic. Real life isn't a clean list of moral wins. If you're at a picnic and someone hands you food, you don't want to stop the whole group to sort out plates.
I get that, but that sounds like we're using convenience as an excuse. If the planet pays the price, isn't it worth going out of your way a little?
I don't buy that as a blanket rule. If the effort is too high, most people won't do it, and then the whole message collapses.
But that's missing the whole picture. A small extra step can become normal if the setup is smart. That's why carrying around a reusable bottle in a bag can work. It's not heroic, it's just prepared.
Maybe, but prepared still means somebody had to remember it, clean it, and pack it. That's not nothing.
I disagree with the idea that not nothing means too much. If the habit is small, the burden is small too.
Wait, small for who? For the person who's already organized, maybe. For the person juggling kids, keys, sunscreen, and snacks, that reusable cup becomes one more thing.
Fair point. But then the answer isn't to give up. The answer is to make the choice lighter. Put the cup by the door, keep the bag in the car, and the friction drops.
That still sounds like work. And if the default is a single-use cup already in front of you, most people will take it. That's just how humans behave.
Exactly. And that's why the default effect matters so much. If the environment always puts disposables first, behavior follows the path that's easiest.
But that also proves my point. If the easy option is powerful, then asking people to constantly fight it is unrealistic.
Not unrealistic, just incomplete. You're treating convenience like destiny. It isn't. If one friend brings a reusable box, another starts to notice, and suddenly the group norm shifts.
Or the group just says, "nice box," and still uses single-use forks because they're right there.
That can happen, sure. But social norms matter. People copy what feels normal in the moment. If nobody questions the plastic pile wins by silence.
And if you question it too loudly, you risk becoming the annoying one. That's the social costs people don't talk about.
That's a real cost, but it's not the whole story. You don't need a speech. You just need one calm sentence. I've got my own cup.
One sentence sounds easy until you're standing there while everyone's hungry and the cooler's already open.
True. And that's exactly why the habit should be automatic. Not emotional, not dramatic, just built in.
Fine, but I still think you're underestimating the role of inertia. People like the path that requires the least effort, and that's why single use keeps winning.
And I think you're underestimating how much structure can change that. If the reusable items live beside your keys, you don't remember them. You just take them.
That's better. I can accept that one small design change beats 10 guilt trips.
There we go. Guilt trips are terrible luggage anyway.
Exactly. No one wants extra emotional baggage with their sandwiches.
Let's test the argument with a real scenario. You're at the park and the friend group has only single-use cups. What happens if you quietly say, "I'll use my own reusable one"?
Maybe nothing. Or maybe people notice, but they might also think you're making a statement.
And making a statement isn't automatically bad. Sometimes behavior is the message.
I see that. But I still think the strongest move is not moral pressure. It's making the greener option the obvious one.
On that, I agree. We're not trying to shame anyone. We're trying to make the better choice easier to repeat.
Right? Because if you want people to stick to a habit, it has to survive tired brains, busy hands, and a picnic table full of disposable.
So the real debate isn't good people versus bad people. It's what wins when intention meets friction.
And the honest answer is whatever feels easiest in the moment, unless you redesign the moment.
That's the bridge to our solution section. Not perfection, not guilt, just smarter defaults and smaller effort.
And we'll show you how to make that feel normal, not extreme.
So we've got the tension now. Intention on one side, convenience on the other.
And the words we keep hearing, reusable, single use, carry around, go out of your way, stick to, they're all tied to that same real life choice.
Exactly. And in the word tour, we'll pull those expressions apart without making them sound like a textbook.
Nice. No textbook energy. Just useful English that fits the park, the bag, and the snack table.
All right, let's go back to that picnic bag. Because the words today were hiding right inside the story.
Yeah, and that makes them easier to remember. They weren't floating in space. They were attached to a real moment, a real choice.
Let's start with carry around. If you carry something around, you take it with you from place to place.
So it's not just carry in a giant dramatic way. It's the little everyday thing, your cup in your bag, your keys in your pocket, your lunchbox on the train.
Right, and in our story, that reusable cup had to be carried around all day before the picnic even started.
I carry around a charger that I never use, so yes, I understand the emotional weight of tiny objects.
That's a very specific struggle. Now, if something is reusable, you can use it again many times instead of throwing it away after one use.
So a reusable cup, a reusable container, a reusable bag, they're built to come back, not disappear after 5 minutes.
Exactly, and that word carries a positive feeling. It suggests a slower, smarter rhythm.
Also less trash, which is nice because nobody wants their picnic to leave a villain-sized pile behind.
Now compare that with single use. If something is single use, you use it once and then you throw it away.
Like a plastic fork, a paper cup, or a straw that's done after one drink, fast, easy, and then it's gone.
And notice the contrast. Reusable feels repeated. Single use feels temporary.
That contrast is useful. In conversation, those two words can help you sound clear and practical.
Okay, Let's make it real. Imagine you're at a beach picnic and someone hands you a single-use cup. You could say, "I've got a reusable one."
That's short and natural. 8 words, easy to say, and it works in real life.
Now for go out of your way. This means to make extra effort to do something.
Not because you have to, but because you choose to. You might go out of your way to bring your own utensils or to find a refill station instead of buying another bottle.
And that phrase is perfect for the tension we discussed. If the effort feels tiny, it's less of a burden. If it feels huge, people back away.
Right? No one wants to go out of their way so much that the picnic becomes a project plan.
Try this sentence. I don't want to go out of my way for every snack.
That's painfully honest. Also very human.
Last one, stick to. If you stick to something, you keep doing it consistently. Or follow a plan.
So you can stick to bringing your reusable cup every time you go out. You're not just trying once, you're building a pattern.
Exactly. And that's why this word matters. It turns a one-time good idea into a habit.
And habits are where the real change lives, not in the dramatic speech you give once while holding a salad.
Oh, definitely not. Real life is messier than that.
So here's a natural mini dialogue. I'm trying to stick to reusable items.
Nice. And you could also say, I'm sticking to my plan this weekend. Both are clean and useful.
Let's do a quick recap in story form. You carry around a reusable cup, you avoid single-use plates, you don't go out of your way too much, and you stick to one small habit.
That's the whole strategy. Not a perfect lifestyle, just a repeatable one. And when you hear these words in real conversations, they should feel familiar now.
And hopefully less like homework.
Exactly. More like the language of normal people trying to make a better choice without making a scene. So today we looked at that tiny picnic moment and how fast good intentions can get buried under convenience.
Right. And the big idea was simple. People don't always disagree with the green choice. They just meet friction, and friction wins.
We also talked about the attitude-behavior gap, which is basically when your values and your actions don't fully match.
And the default effect matters too, because when the easy option is already in front of you, you're more likely to take it.
So, here are 3 practical moves. First, make a tiny outdoor kit and keep it by the door or in the car.
Second, choose one habit and stick to it. Maybe it's your reusable cup. Maybe it's your bag. Keep it small enough to survive a busy day.
Third, don't try to fix every situation at once. Just make the green choice easier in one place you visit often.
Exactly. One repeated win beats 10 perfect plans that never leave your head.
I remember a time when I kept forgetting my bottle and I felt silly every single time I bought another one.
That's such a real feeling. The change happened for me when I stopped aiming for ideal and started aiming for automatic.
That's the shift we want for listeners too. Less pressure, more consistency.
So next time you plan a picnic, a beach day, or even a quick park snack, try one small upgrade and see what happens.
Before you go, we want to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, what's one eco habit that's easy for you to stick to, and what's one that still feels hard?
We read every single comment. Thanks for listening and see you next time. Maybe with a cup that's not single use.
Thanks for listening.
Bye for now.